Next panel explores how enterprises can integrate advanced cybersecurity frameworks and technologies to protect innovation at scale, with the panel discussion under the topic Securing Innovation at Scale Strategies, Skills and Systems for a Resilient Digital Economy. Please welcome our distinguished panelists, Abhishek Pratap Singh, Head of Information Security CISO, National Bank of Oman. Abdulhakeem Ali Al-Alawi, Information Security Officer, CISO Oman LNG, L.L.C. Saeed Al-HARRASI, Specialist IT Security, BankDhofar. Miss Amal Saeed Al-Mashaikhi, Senior Cybersecurity Innovation Specialist, Oman National CERT. And the moderator for this discussion, Mr. Semih Gelişli, Chief Technology Officer, Natica Consultant. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome these subject experts on stage with a big round of applause. Also, I would like to call on stage Asma Habeeb, Senior Cybersecurity Consultant, Risk and Insurance, Petroleum Development, Oman.
It's a pleasure being here. In today's connected world, speed defines everything. I mean innovation, business decisions, and also attacks. And attacks now unfold in seconds, not weeks. A reminder that resilience depends on a collaboration. Here in Oman, we see that collaboration every day between regulators, critical infrastructure, and financial sector, transforming cybersecurity from a reactive to proactive discipline. Today, we have an exceptional panel representing 5 pillars of the ecosystem, from national coordination and policy, energy infrastructure, financial services, and operational technologies. Each brings a unique perspective on our shared digital future. Yet, all are united by a common challenge, protecting Oman's infrastructure. The theme of our session brings that idea to life. Over the next 45 minutes, we will explore how innovation, risk governance, human culture, and AI-driven attacks intersect to shape the next era of protection. My role today is simple: to connect these perspectives, challenge assumptions, and uncover practical insights that can help us all navigate what's next. So let's deep dive into the conversation, beginning with the Abhishek. Yeah. The first question is, zero trust is often described as a mindset shift rather than a framework. So how do you operationalize zero trust in a large financial organization?
Look, zero trust is, like I think concept was introduced in 2019 by Gartner, if I'm not wrong. The CISO at the same time it was introduced. So it's not all about like bringing in technology and just you can switch it on. It's all about changing the culture. So when you're picking up and targeting a large organization, you cannot go for big bang approach. You have to start with small segments. Again, the zero trust indicates, or they have multiple factors when we talk about identities. So you have to identify first what you are going to protect, be it your machine identity or human identity. Then you have to go for challenges or challenge rounds to determine whether the request is coming from the genuine entity. So in layman language, let's say if I am talking to you, if I don't know you, we start with credential exchange, knowing the background of each other. And that help us to determine our trust zone. And then later on we become friends, and then accordingly we can authenticate, or we can talk to each other by exchanging our phone numbers. In a similar manner, when we talk about zero trust, earlier our security was limited to parameters. Something is coming from outside. We used to check all the things, be it from identity point of view, IP point of view, port point of view, and then after establishing trust, we start exchanging information. Same concept is being introduced now inside the organization, because you cannot ignore the insider threat. So when we talk about how you can implement, go with macro management kind of thing, means you have to go for macro segmentation, start with a small department, educate your people, because again, it's a cultural change. You have to define your identity, be it machine or be it your human identity, and then you have to go for strong authentication process, be it multi-factor authentication or your behavior-based authentication. So this is how you can adopt zero trust, be it for small or large organizations.
Thank you for your insights. Zero trust is a mindset, but also the ransomware and the supply chain attacks also a new is a new attack. With Abdulhakeem, supply chain compromises and ransomware have become primary threats to energy infrastructure. How do you ensure that end-to-end visibility across partners and vendors?
Assalamu alaikum. Semih, normally numbers tell the truth. It is not a theory. If you look into the statistics in 2024, more than 60% of ransomware attack due to supply chain. So this is supply chain attack or risk is not something that we only talk about it. It is something is real, happening across all organizations. And I believe maybe all of us heard about CrowdStrike, blue screen, which has happened, I believe, few years ago. It is not about cyber attack or whatever. It's how supply chain can impact business. A lot of organizations across the globe being impacted because of that incident. So supply chain is really very important. When it comes to cyber attack, now for the attackers become very easy to target your suppliers instead of targeting you directly, because most of the suppliers, they don't have sometimes the money and the resource really to put the right controls. While we trust those suppliers. And sometimes they have direct connection to our environment. Their employees, sometimes they are sitting in our offices permanently, they have full access. So those suppliers, they become really an easy target or easy vehicles in order to target bigger companies and organizations. And there's many incidents happen as well this year and last year as well, showing that how those suppliers can be indirectly a key risk for the organization. Now, how to make sure that this risk is being mitigated? Sometimes it is even very funny that are you going to secure yourself or secure your suppliers? You know, are you going to put policies for them, put EDR, antivirus, SOC for them, or you do it for yourself? Even this is really very, very crucial. But as Abhishek mentioned, that zero trust, one of the solutions that can be really help. Normally, don't trust, verify. So you verify anything coming or going to anyone, even within the environment. Zero trust is very important. Having the right contract with those vendors to ensure that you are protected in case incident happen, you know your liability, what is your right, how you can really go and look for your right and how to protect your company as well. Plus, try to educate your suppliers as well. Not only your employee, even participate your suppliers. Let them be onboarded in your awareness level. Communication, collaboration, where this was even mentioned in the previous panel. Communication is very important. Collaboration with those suppliers is very important. Sometimes we do have, let's say, good cybersecurity practices. Sharing this with suppliers and vendors really will help them to protect us. So this communication, collaboration, zero trust as well, and you need to monitor as well all the time because you don't know from where. And most of the organizations, they have numbers of suppliers. Who will be the vehicle to your organization, you don't know. And even you need to know, you need to have an inventory for your suppliers. So you know what suppliers participating in which process and what access as well, what type of information they have about you. In case they've been compromised, at least you know what you expect, what type of risk might really impact you. If there's a data privacy, if this is maybe direct attack can come to you. I remember I was engaged with some colleagues and peers as well. There was one suppliers been compromised, and when they check what about how they will be impacted, it was good that they are not impacted because that supplier don't have really any data in their infrastructure about that company. So having this really structured way, sustainable way as well, monitor all the time, that is really crucial to ensure that supply chain risk is being minimized, but cannot be eliminated.
It's a dilemma about protecting ourselves or protecting the supply chain suppliers. It's an ecosystem. We have to protect all of them. So, moving to Asma, cyber risk frameworks often lag behind the speed of innovation. How can assurance functions evolve to support rather than slow down a digital transformation?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Semih, for asking this very important question, because I believe traditional risk and assurance frameworks were designed to control innovation rather than enable it. If you go to see within the business, there is often this perspective or stereotype that compliance and assurance are gatekeepers. They're bottlenecks rather than being a strategic partner in transformation. So there are certain points that I'd like to highlight that could actually help compliance, assurance, and cybersecurity to be a strategic partner in this era of transformation. So the first could be to embed risk in the earlier stage. Now, what I mean by this is in the design and ideation phase of digital transformation and innovation, that's when risk and cybersecurity controls need to be embedded, not when the project is completed, not when the plan is completed. By this, we are being enablers. We are not being showstoppers after the entire process is done, right? So the traditional methods of periodic risk assessments probably is not the approach in this era. The second point what I would like to highlight is to embed AI and agile frameworks within compliance and assurance. Now, what do I mean by this is that your static risk registers might not really play a key role here. So adapt to threat intelligence, adapt to automation, make assurance a continuous practice, not just a periodic practice. When an organization or the country per se is going through digital transformation, and we all know that Oman 2040 is moving towards AI with new cybersecurity practices, so we know that to be in alignment with this, we need to align and revamp our cybersecurity objectives and strategies as well. This needs to go hand in hand with the country strategy and then the policies of the organization itself. Once that is done, keep it in mind that we are thinking as enablers for business now. We don't want them to complain, oh, this is a showstopper. We've had several such projects when we work around and they say, this is over-governance, this is over-compliance. So our main objective here needs to be how can the business achieve its goals and outcomes while keeping cybersecurity controls and risk in posture. So these are certain areas that we need to keep in mind when we're designing our risk and assurance framework.
I think this is another era is like changing mind, like zero trust. I mean that before this era, CISOs like managing only the protecting the infrastructure, but the new mindset is trusted person in the company for protecting a business also. From moving to site, many banks are integrating SOAR and XDR solutions to modernize their security operations centers. So what challenges have you observed in aligning automation with human decision making?
Okay, so basically SOAR and XDR are transforming bank SOX team. So they are offering the speed, visibility, and transformation. However, aligning that automation with the human decision making brings several issues. So one of the biggest issues that we have observed is that assuming that automation can fully replace the analyst judgment. It is true that SOAR playbooks can, for example, block a user or isolate a host or even trigger containment automatically. However, without like strong context enrichment, false positive might happen. And in banking sector, false positive means critical service like payments can get impacted, and accordingly we're gonna have a financial loss. Even if we have a system where it is working as intended, we have an issue of a trust where the analyst can't immediately trust the system decisions. So for example, if there, so if the system has taken a decision without explainability, the analyst won't trust that decision, and accordingly he gonna ignore the action being taken, and that will defeat the purpose of the automation. Even if the trust is there between the analyst and the system, we have in the traditional SOC teams, we have that skills gap which needs to be improved. So that's one of the challenges we have observed. So what we need actually is to involve the analyst in designing the playbooks, so they have the trust, and also they understand the reason why, for example, an action was taken. In addition to these 3 points, we have also observed the complexity, some of the attacks, especially, for example, the insider threats. These needs a hybrid kind of playbooks, where the system will take the role of collecting data and do the correlation, and then escalate the decision making to the human, so that the analyst will take the proper decision. At the end, we have also the, since we are banks, we have to have regulations to be followed. Hence, we have to have the processes and workflows for such integration and implementation, so we can prove any action being taken to the regulators.
Thank you. I think that false positives are every SOC's problem. So we need collaboration with AI, human, and automation. Mrs. Amal, for the national CERT is a center of the cross-sector collaboration. What models or initiatives have proven most effective in uniting public and private sector against emerging threats?
Well, definitely a very good question. Broadly saying, Oman National CERT, since it has been established 2009, has brought up all the stakeholders, not only from public and private sectors, but also from the society and academic institutions. And the keyword that I just got interested hearing my co-panelists today, like 2 keywords I just got from the discussion so far. One is trust, second is collaboration. And this is exactly what we have been doing for the last decade, working with all of the stakeholders in the Sultanate, but also in the regional wise too. So I just want to, thinking to take you a little bit far in time. In 2021, like 4 years ago, there was this program that has been approved by the Cabinet of the Ministers in Oman called National Digital Economy Program. And within that program, and with the vision of Oman 2040, we do believe that cybersecurity has been seen not only as a technical term, but also a business enabler term in the very recent decade. And yes, Oman 2040 has approved and seen cybersecurity as an economic objective too. And from that perspective, cybersecurity is seen now in all of the terms, in all perspectives in lifetime. And back to your question about the business model that we have been following, specifically when it comes to cybersecurity and innovation, we have adopted an international triple helix model, and by saying that it's all about bringing three major stakeholders from public sector, private sector, and then academic institutions, not forgetting their efforts from research and development perspectives. So bringing all of those three stakeholders and studying the pain and gain, what could be beneficiary to one of those stakeholders. And then we have added up other minor stakeholders from the society, like freelancers as individuals, experts, community as crowdfunding community groups, students' activities within the colleges. I do remember Mr. Mohammed from the previous panel discussion have mentioned something about the new generation, and yes, this has been considered in our model too. So currently we do have a national cyber innovation collaborative-based framework model that we are following to study and understand each part of those organizations, bringing them all together, enable the trust more in the process of all of the collaboration activities. And we have just established 3 successful centers that focus on cybersecurity and innovation in 3 different academic institutions in Muscat. And inshallah, by next year and the next 5 years plan, we will be having more of innovation centers in all of the Sultanate. So yes, this is going on, and we have been seeing trust is a very critical item within the equation of cybersecurity innovation.
Thank you. Hearing that academy is a part of the model is very good, because in the first panel, as you said, the skill gap is a very important problem in our cybersecurity field. Going to round 2, Abhishek, looking ahead, what do you see as the next frontier of cybersecurity in digital finance? Quantum resilience, AI auditing, or something else?
Look, when we talk about the future, it's unpredictable. But what I can see in an immediate one, the quantum or PQC, which is post-quantum cryptography, that's not future. Many companies, they have this capability now. However, it's not public. They can crack the encryption which was meant to be cracked in a couple of years. So with the higher level of computing now, you can perform the same task in minutes or seconds. So I think that will become a threat for all the organization in a sense. Whatever you consider as a secure solution or consider as a secure data, because you're enforcing encryption and you're expecting, like, even though someone have access, they cannot look into it because it's of no use. But with that computing power, they can go for reversing that encryption bit. And in layman language, what is encryption? Because you have certain mathematic algorithms. You're putting your personal key or private key, and basis on that, you're going for a round of transposition, and you're changing the bits. Now, how it became difficult? Because going back, you have to solve the same mathematical problem, and that needs lots of time and computing power. But once you have quantum in place, or quantum computing in place, that's easily achievable. So I think many organizations, including HSBC and others, they already started post-PQC as a pilot to check whether their tokenized or tokenization technology cannot be breached in future. Because nowadays, what hackers they are doing, they are just collecting data. So there's a concept called store now and hack later. Collect the information, and later on when we have capability, then that can be utilized to exploit the crucial data or to look into actual data. When we talk about adoption of AI, again, it is not limited to just crafting the emails, because when the moment it was introduced, most of the people were using, okay, how I can use good English or Arabic to draft the emails. But now slowly and gradually you have seen Google introduce multiple things. You can even change the pictures and all those things. So with deep fakes, these kind of when we are looking for different set of attacks, let's say medium vulnerabilities were there, high level vulnerabilities were there, that correlation became faster now. So earlier, if I have to engage 4 people, as an organization, if I am running a cyber group, I need to engage 4 or 5 people. Now it can be done with the help of my processing capability in AI. And it can be achieved in a faster time to exploit those medium and low vulnerabilities. So that is becoming another level of challenge. On the counter side, we have anomaly detection. We have faster response, like highlighted by my colleagues here. That's the positive side. So again, it's not like we need not to afraid of the future. We need to just buckle up and be ready ourselves or prepare ourselves for the future. That's my comment.
Yeah, we are in, as you said, that we are in an unpredictable area. So as energy transitions, to Abdulhakeem I am asking, as energy transitions to smart operations, what role do emerging technologies such as AI, digital twins, or predictive analytics play in both enabling and complicating cybersecurity?
As Abhishek mentioned, that future is not predictable, but if you would like to think what will be in the future, you will not be able to think because everything already happening now. The future already happening. So, and AI is not something that we can ignore anymore. And the value from AI and this new technology is really tremendous. And looking to this into industrial area and manufacturing there's really huge value for this technologies. But the main thing here really how to use these technologies and where. Because sometimes some of this technology will come with a benefit and will come with a risk as well. And if you look into the AI itself, really the attacker been utilizing AI heavily, and they come with a new technique that even sometimes we cannot think about it. And here, how they can really compromise to the organization and how they can really penetrate from where. This become very easy and make it very easy for them. Even launching the campaign, the automated campaign to attack companies and organizations. 0 day, they become very easy as well now. As Abhishek mentioned, take now and try later. This is really happening very, very active. And many organizations being hacked, no impact happened. There, maybe lately or maybe this year in April, I believe, or March, there was an incident that happened to Oracle where their data being leaked. Attacker, they could not really encrypt, but they've been asking anyone can help in decrypting this information, they will be sharing it with them. So even you protect your information, you encrypt it as well, someone will try to do it later and decrypt that and using it. Now, AI will help in doing all this bad thing. On the other side, again, AI can do really a good job as well. Now, know how to do that as well is very, very challenging and tricky as well to make it. But the capability is there. There are a lot of potential to use AI in cybersecurity. But how to use that in the right way? Because sometimes you don't want to expose your information to outside even. If you put AI in your environment to do security for you, but you don't put the right control, maybe you will expose your data to outside. So it's have really bad and good, but the amount of bad thing that can be done is huge, but definitely the benefit is more than that. Yeah. The digital twin is something is really very good idea. It comes with a lot of money saving, plus even money generating as well. You can predict failure, you can enhance your mathematics, you can enhance your queries, how you do your business. You can do it in a better way, which more money you can generate to the organization and to the country as well. So yes, it's coming with two things, but you need to know how and when you use AI in your organization. Corporate is not a personal. People, they are excited about AI, but using AI in the corporate is completely different than using it at home. You need to think about data privacy, the confidentiality, the impact if anything happens wrong, because you have AI poisoning, hallucination as well. all this you need to think about it. But definitely the benefit from using AI is something is really cannot be ignored by anyone.
To recap, I think that we have to put AI in the collaboration model to fight with the AI. Mrs. Asma, PDO is a major risk culture. What practices have you found most effective in embedding cybersecurity ownership across non-technical departments?
So I will speak irrespective of PDO, and this should actually be best practices followed by all organizations globally, that we do not believe that cybersecurity is a responsibility, or may I actually use the word accountability of the cybersecurity or the IT department. We want to shift the mentality and mindset from different directorates, different teams of having the responsibility to moving it to accountability of cybersecurity. So what I mean by this is that each and every directorate or a department should have in their own scorecards the cybersecurity KPIs of how it would impact their business outcomes, right? And this makes them accountable. We need to shift from a mindset of cybersecurity just being as a controls or risk to its organizational behavior. It's more of a culture. I do recall from the panelists earlier saying that cybersecurity needs to be taught in schools, in colleges, which I completely agree with. But we do still have an elderly generation in the organization, so they're not going back to schools or colleges, right? So this needs to come from top down in organizations, in mature organizations and mature hires that we have. Who is educating them to move this from a mind shift change? So cybersecurity has its technical aspect, has its business aspect, but what about the psychological aspect? What happens when the organization goes through a digital transformation? Who is driving this with psychology and cybersecurity? So this is really important for the top executives to understand so that they can embed this within their staff below. Another point that I would like to highlight is that focus on awareness campaigns. I'm sure we all do that. We work a lot with OT, we work a lot with IT, we have these pamphlets everywhere. But what about having organizational awareness for those directorates whose functions are digitally exposed? By this, I mean, for example, procurement team could have, let's say, cybersecurity awareness specific to supply chain risks, which my colleague was just mentioning about. HR team could have cybersecurity awareness specific to data privacy. Operational technology could have specific trainings related to OT security. What happens when the plants are attacked? How can this impact the entire country? So this is what it means to go hand in hand and collaborate. These are some things we focus on is stakeholder collaboration, that this knowledge needs to go not as a bottleneck, it needs to go as an enabler. And that's when business is going to adapt to best practices and see that, yes, this can help us achieve what we're looking for. So to sum up, lastly, what I want to mention is focus on the cyber hygiene of your organization and recognize those people. By recognizing, it doesn't just mean monetary terms. Recognizing can be done in immense methods. So let people know that they are doing something good towards the organization, towards development of youth, towards development of mature hires, and the country, ultimately.
Measuring KPI and the metrics for the other departments is one of the starting point of the changing the culture, cybersecurity culture is very important. So we are going out of time also. Said, AI-powered defense is on the rise, as we talked. But so AI-powered attacks. How do you prepare your team to detect and respond to machine-driven threats?
Okay, so since we are short of time, so without introduction, we have three main areas to focus on: people, process, and technology. So if we can establish well-trained people as a SOC team to know how to deal with such attacks, then we are good in the people area. Then we have to offer the team a proper technology where they can utilize and help them, because people can't alone protect the organization from such attacks. Then the process, so we have to modify our incident response playbooks. So what I'm trying to say is it will be a hybrid kind of playbooks where both the technology and the analyst can contribute together to speed up the response. So this is my short answer.
Thank you so much. For the last question, Amal, we focused all the gaps in the human side, in the technology side. Cyber innovation often focuses on technology, but how can national certs drive innovation in skills, awareness, and cultural resilience?
Yeah, totally, I got it, yes. So basically, we do have now in Oman, under the umbrella of the, I just mentioned, National Digital Economy Program, we do have another like sub-program which called Cybersecurity Industry Development Program. And basically, from the vision and mission of this program, it's all focused on human innovation, creativity, and excellence. And from that perspective, and I'm just quoting from what Asma and Said just mentioned, people, capacity building should be always there. And from our national program that I just mentioned, we do have so many strategic pillars. The majority, like almost 85 to 90% out of those strategic pillars of such program is focusing on people. And by that, I just want to highlight the innovation promotion, the capacity building, the skills of not only students and employees in the organization, public, private sectors, but also the SME, not to forget them, the community, the elder people, as Asma just mentioned. All of those people, like all the community, should be there within the process of enabling capacity building of human in the community. So the lesson learned, or just to sum it up because time is running out, the idea is to move and transform from having cybersecurity as a technical term and challenge to the mindset of the society itself. So it's all about mindset of cybersecurity within the culture of innovation and community enabling.
Thank you to all our panelists for sharing their insights and experience today. Today reminded us that Oman cyber resilience isn't defined by only firewalls, but by foresight, collaboration, and trust. Resilience is not a destination; it's a endless and shared journey for us. And together we are shaping a safer digital future for Sultanate and beyond. Thank you for all, and let's continue building the future. Enjoy the rest of the CISO Global Oman. Thank you so much.